Now, there's one detail from the Baltimore press conference that actually explains why the charges in this case are so serious, and it's not the viral video. Now, in a single line of the radio traffic that the state's attorney read out loud during the briefing, the officer said, "I have one running." And here's why that matters.
As the person was walking away on a paved driveway, Officer Parks returned to the vehicle, his patrol vehicle, and stated over the radio, "I have one running adult male in the alley."
Now, in hearing that, it sounds like routine police talk, but to prosecutors, investigators, and anyone who understands pursuit policies, that line changes everything. So why does that matter? Well, here's what you need to understand. The moment an officer declares a pursuit over the radio, a specific set of policies kick in. It doesn't matter if the person is running fast or walking away. It doesn't matter if it's on foot or in a car. The moment that is called a pursuit, everything that happens after that is judged differently. Think of it like this. Before the radio call, the officer was having an encounter with someone. After the radio call, the officer is now in active pursuit of a fleeing subject. And for Baltimore Police Department policy, like most departments, they have very strict rules about pursuits. Baltimore PD's policy says officers should not put anyone's safety at risk during a pursuit, especially for a minor offense, and that's what we have here. In fact, the policy literally says it's better to allow a suspect to temporarily escape apprehension than to jeopardize anyone's safety in the vehicle pursuit. The policy also says that officers are prohibited from using force to punish someone from fleeing. And here's the key part. Using a vehicle to strike someone is considered deadly force under BPD policy. So now you see where this is going. Now let's talk about how the state may be using this. The state's attorney isn't just saying that this officer drove recklessly. They're saying that the officer declared a pursuit, then violated every policy designed to prevent exactly this. Here's what the state is arguing. Officer Parks called it in as a pursuit. "I have one running." That means he had time to think. This wasn't a split-second reaction. He knew the person was fleeing because he called it in, then he used his vehicle as a weapon and drove at the man with increasing speed, struck him, and kept coming. That pattern is what the state is using to prove intent. So some may ask, why attempted murder and not just an assault or reckless endangerment? Because the radio call proves this wasn't an accident. If the officer had said nothing and just reacted in the moment, the defense can argue that he misjudged distance. It was reckless, but it wasn't intentional. But once he called it in, that argument falls apart. He identified the person as fleeing. He initiated a pursuit. Then he made a series of choices. He drove at him with increasing speed, struck him in the grassy area, continued the pursuit when the man ran onto a sidewalk, and then drove into a chain link fence into a backyard. That's not one mistake, that's a pattern. And under Maryland law, that pattern shows intent to kill or seriously harm. Now, to be clear, even without the radio call, this incident would still raise serious questions. At any time a vehicle is used against a person, you have to look at tactics, training, and judgment. But that radio call is what prosecutors are using to move this from bad judgment to criminal intent. It's the difference between he made a terrible decision in the heat of the moment and he declared a pursuit, then hunted a person down with a vehicle. One is a policy violation, the other is a crime. My goal isn't to tell you what to think about this case. My goal is to give you context that the viral video may not show. Because in these cases, it always comes down to actions, policy, and decisions made in the moment, not assumptions. So what do you think? Does that radio call change how you see the situation? Leave your thoughts in the comments, and as always, thanks for watching.